You ready? It's gonna be out today.
I have to give you some.
It's gonna be hot, very hot. The information which will be given in 20 minutes are not allowed to be taught. Les informations que j'ai dans 20 minutes ne sont pas autorisées à être enseignées.
So I can't say you can give it over at 6:30.
No.
Ever.
You
can't give it over ever.
You will see by yourself that you can even not know how to start to give it away.
I don't want to. You know I don't try. I say it at your table, but it's about it.
So it said, Ukshe. So Rabbi Nechunya, we are in the Prat, Malkhut de Prat VeKlal. Ilchot Dayanut. The Malkhut de Prat VeKlal. Ilchot Dayanut. And he's trapped in the Kyriat Shema. Not his trap, Shalom. He focused on Kyriat Shema. For maybe now, 4 limud, we are on the Kyriat Shema. He explained how he completes your body. He t'explique comment ça complète ton corps. And from that corner, you can basically become a real Merkava, chariot. Une vraie Merkava. So, they explain how you have to read every single word. They explain, we saw how we have to create in the Kavanah our body like a Merkava. Tout ça. Now he's continuing. When you will read the Krachma, Tizaer, la tête, Revar ben, Idbakim, Kumo, Trem, Eret, Mitzraim, Pen, Tivalim, Amen. He said, when you read the Krachma, be careful about the letters, the final letters, the first letter when they are the same. Attention entre les dernières lettres et les premières qui sont les mêmes. For example, you see here, you have etrem, me'eret. So it's mem. So when you pronounce this, comment, je vais écrire etrem, me'eret. Don't say etremeret. Etremeret. No, you have to do a pause. So we have a specific number of situations like that. On a un nombre précis de situations comme ça. They are hiding a secret also. Ils cachent un secret. That's why in the Kavanot, you have this situation in color. You see? Like this. Stop. The vav. You see? Continue. Also, the vav here. After you have here, totafot, mezuzot zain. You have here. You see? Bechol levav, lamed. Taf, bet, taf, bet. There's a secret behind. Il y a un secret derrière. Why they are like here? Al levavchem. You don't say al levavchem. You say al levavchem. That's why in the Kavanot you have they put the psik. Ils ont mis un petit trait pour séparer parce que les lettres qui se ressemblent, on met un espace. Al levavchem. Bet also here. And I think that's it. No, also, kanaf petin, space. And taf, bet.
So all these are
Etrem me'eret. The example is he took in the text.
yeah. Using these examples for
to say that when you read the Krachma, you have to be careful to make a pause between
these words.
Yeah, between the words where the last letter of the word and the first letter of the next word are the same.
Oh, like pairs.
Yes.
The last letter and then the first letter of the next word.
Yes, you have to make a pause when you read them.
Because you could go into the
Swallow it, yeah.
and then it won't be the word
exactly. So why is it so makpid? Why is it makpid? Look. Yeah, because you may swallow it, tu peux l'avaler. והמם מצד השני, ואתם מוראי חסכון וכן וחרה אף. He said, because if you do it like this, the next word will have a damage because you will pronounce the last mem of the first, but the first mem of the next will not be well pronounced. So the second word will be damaged. Le deuxième mot, il va être endommagé. Auto, ותזכרתיהם וכן כל הכיוצא בהם, וכל השמות האמוריים בפרשת הראשונה, תאיר לקראתם. So also, all the names which are given in the first parasha, you have to read them with a long voice. Like this. We talk about the names of Hashem. On parle des noms d'Hachem. Donc, tous les noms d'Hachem qui ont dans le premier paragraphe, de les lire avec longtemps. Tu dois prendre du temps. Tu sais. Ve'avta et Hashem. You don't say Ve'avta Hashem. Ve'avta et Hashem. Elohecha. Elohecha is also Shem. When you see your name, you have to say it longer.
You see what names?
Avaya, Elohim, Elohecha, yeah.
In the Shema.
In the Shema. Not it. After et Hashem, Elo. You on the name you put the. Tu rallonges ta prononciation quand tu dis le nom. Each names, chaque name. Ad, Setiraven, Avaya, Ohe, Avaya, Avehi. So you have to think every Avaya is focusing on Avaya. Let's keep what he said here. Say every Avaya you see in the Kyriat Shema, you have to say it longer. And when you say this Avaya, you have to think he was, he is, and he will be. Aya, Ove, Ye. And he said, Ach, באלף דאחד לא תאריר שלא יראה אחד. So, but the aleph of echad don't make it longer. We don't say Hashem Yisrael, Hashem Elohim, Hashem echad. No.
Why not?
Because if you say echad, it says like you say there is hey.
You're separating.
You separate, and there is no chad. Yeah, echad. You have to say echad, not di. Abel Nathan. Sometimes you say di. Echadi. No, you put a chirik. That's good. Echad, the like.
And when you do Abba meets based in, when you do the Shema, you should do the as you're saying it, right?
Every time you say echad of Krishma, you have to say echad.
At the time you're doing the kavanah, what as you do the kavanah.
Every time you say Krishma,
yeah,
the dalet of echad has to be long.
Okay. It should be the aruch should be the aruch of it should be how long it takes you to do the kavanah. Or
If I'm in the normal year and I do the kavanot, I say Shema 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 Echad.
okay, so you don't have to go.
No, it depends. What's your kavanah? If you breathe, it's Echad. It's finished. If you have all these kavanot, you will finish your day in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's no problem. Just you have to show that the dalet is long.
Yeah.
But not the aleph. pas le Aleph. וראה ואבן, si on understand, comprend, voir, שבוחן וגם לא תמהר בקריאת החטא, שלא תקראנה בחטף, בתאריר, בדלת. So he said, also be careful. You don't say, אחד, or אחד. It's not the Aleph and not the Chet.
It's like the hardest word to letter to draw out because a dalet is it's like a point.
Yeah.
How do you draw a point out? Like I don't know how to do it. This is always bothers me. It's like I understand if it's more of like a
Try to if you do the strategy, tu as la stratégie to pronounce the dalet with we know that dalet is standing on the teeth.
So it's almost like a th.
Yes. Because you say that lanat. All the letter of the teeth, the tongue, you have to touch the teeth.
And then at the
So
end, at the end of
you build the your tongue being inside of the teeth.
Okay. And
Like
then
this is natural.
and then you end with a
Why?
You close your mouth.
okay.
Wait, why extend the dot?
10 minutes. You say D, see? Don't say D. It's a Shema. No. Say D, not D. Because this is in English. That's why it's hard for you. You say D. A, B, C, D. Speak to in French. A, B, C, D. D. You have to touch your teeth with your tongue. D. אחד yeah. It seems to be joke. We're gonna see. It's very serious. So he said, ועד שתחשוב בלבך שהוא בורא עולם, הוא מלאר בשמיים ובארץ, ולמעלה ולמטה, ובדלת רוחות העולם. To say basically how long you keep the dalet, the time you need to understand that he is the God of everything. Shamayim and earth and everything is under his power. So if it's for you just with some thoughts, okay. If for you it's 10 pages saying that, okay, keep it.
I was thinking that
No,
I did it wrong.
yeah. You say echad, you did on the chet. They don't do it on the chet. Exactly.
I was just thinking like everything, everything comes from one source.
Yes. זה עלם. מזרח, מערב, צפון, דרום, the four corners of the earth, les quatre coins du monde. Ou תהום רבה, in the תהומות, the depth of water, dans les eaux profondes, ועל, אמר איברים בחר, אם לא תוכל לכוון, כל כך תכוון השם אלוהינו, שהוא עתיד להיות אחד, ובכל מאודיך, ובכל מעונך, ובכל מידעה ומידעה, שהוא מודד לך, והוא מודה לו. אמר לו רבי, אבו, ואלה אמרינן אפילו באה לטעול את כל ממונך, ומי יוכל לסבול. אמר לו ראה ואבן, אם באה לטעול נפשך, נתחייב לו, אם כן, לא, כי אין משפט מעוקל לפניו, ואם בא לטעול ממונך, ודאי הוא בדין שאינו שלך, אם כן, כל מה שעושה הוא דין אמת, והאמת איתו, למה תתארה. So say basically, now he start to speak the text. Quand c'est expliqué le texte, he said, all the כל לבבך ומאודיך, basically, it's a drash. He said, you have to understand that your soul is his, and your money is his. That's why you say, בכל לבבך ונשארך ומאודיך. So basically, you have to understand at this moment that every single thing which are in your hand is from him. You are not the creator of anything. He is the one who gives to you everything. This is the feeling that you have to have when you start to say these words. C'est le pensée que tu dois commencer à avoir quand tu commences à dire ces pensées-là. After he said, וזהו בכל המידה שהוא מודד לך כדינאות תאווה אותו, ואמר לו רבו נפשו של האדם של השם כספו וזהבו, גם כן של השם הוא כשבא לטעול את נפשו הוא ממונעו שלו לוקח. אם כן מהי רבותאה דאדם ומה שכר לו אם לא יתערעם. אמר לו, לא, א' א' ב', אם א' א' ב', אלא אם אמרת בשלמה. אוקיי. בשלמה, אם הקדוש ברוך הוא נותן לדבר של אדם, ואדם אינו מתערעם, אלא אוהב שפיר. אלא, אמרת שלא הוא נותן, אם מתערעם שלא כדין, הוא מתערעם ויענש. ואם אינו מתערעם, אלא אוהב, הוא שמח, לא יהיה, לא שכר. אמר לו, ועד עתה, הייתה. ואמר לו, וזהו קשה לי, וזהו שאלתי. אמר לו, אלא אמרתי לך, כשבריחו אחי אמר לישראל, אם תתערעם, שלא כדין תתערעם ותענש, כי שלי אני, ונותן, ואם לא תתערעם על אלה, שכרם כפול מאוד. כשאמר למי שבא אליו נפשו בהשקעת ובמנוחה שלו בהרגש, ועכשיו הוא נוטלו ובשפירה ובשריפה או בסקילאה וכיוצא בהם שמצטער ואינו מתערם ויש לו שכר בזה. אמר לו רבו דבריך יסייעני אם נתחייב למה יתערם, ואם נתערם הביא שלו כדין, ואם לא יתערם למה יהיה שכרו כפול. אמר לו עד מתי תעמוד בטעותך ולא תבוא אל האמת. אחי אמר הקדוש ברוך הוא לאדם, אם יאמר לך אדם, אם לא תצא ממחפצת הקדוש ברוך הוא לעבוד אלוהים אחרים, אני נותן את נפשך או ממונך, אף על פי האמור, ואהבת את השם אלוהיך בכל לבבך, בכל נפשך, בכל מאודיך. אמר לו, מתוך השקר התבאר האמת, שבכלל השקר אמת, ובכלל האמת אין שקר. ממה נאמר, כשמסר נפשו שלו לכבוד אלוהים אחרים, אינו עובר, אינו נותן דבר משלו. אמר לו, אף על פי האמר, הואיל ואפשר להיות לו ממונו בנפשו, שיעבור עבודה זרה, והוא אינו עובד. הקדוש ברוך הוא מעלה לו שכר. ושכן אמר רבי עקיבא, גדול הדור עכשיו, שבא לידי אלוהו הקיימנה, אלא שקר ואמת, ואמרת מעולם לא שמעתי. אמר לו רבו, שקר עולה תח 600, ואמת עולה תמה 441, ובתוך תח תמה, ואם תבקש שקר בכלל אמת לא תמצאנה. אמר לו, וחלופיהם בגולם. אמר לו רבו, יהיה כבוד מלכותך חביב אליך, שאליך אנשי סדום ואמרו ללאות גם גש האלה. גש האלה. גש האלה, אוקיי. וקנתם גולעם שותה ולמה אמר קראתני גולעם שותה, אמר לו בני, כבוד תמיד חביב עליי כשלי, ובחדרי כוונתי קראתי שותה, וכשם בתוך שקר אמת, קר בתוך שותה חכם. וכי אמרתי לך, מתור שותה תצא חכמתך, יראתך גולם מתוך דבר למידתה, וחילוף שם תחליף שקר באטבש בדג, ואם תחליף אמת באטבש עית, והנה שקר בתוך אמת. So you say that it's going to be odd, I told you. You say like this. You say what's happened. You say based on what we understand in the first paragraph of the Shema, basé sur ce qu'on comprend dans le premier paragraphe de Shema, Hashem is telling us that we are nothing without him. Hashem nous dit qu'on n'est rien sans lui. Me, my soul from him, my will from him. Mon âme est de lui, ma richesse est de lui. C'est ça. Now, what the purpose for me to say all these things? He said, because we want you to have fear. To fear him. Parce qu'on veut que tu le craignes. Why? Who do you fear? When you really see that you really depend on someone. Because you see that, where can I go? What could I do? Where can I move? Every single piece of my body depends on his own desire. So he said the purpose is to have that fear. He said, but the truth is, the more you repeat, the less you have fear. Puis le problème, c'est quoi? C'est plus tu répètes, moins tu as peur. The first day, you say, no, you know what? You're strong, you're the best. The first day, because the guy is powerful. Okay. After 1 year, you repeat every day, you say the same word. You're strong. At the end, you don't believe what you say. Because you speak every day to the man. You start to have relationship. You start to have a connection. You see the same guy. You never move. But the fear you had at the first day will not be the same fear 1 year after you repeating every single day. You know, you're the boss. It's not the same. That's why sometimes, that's why sometimes what we do, we try to, what most of the rabbis, they do that, not to be every time with the student. Because it's very hard to keep a level of respect when you are every time with them. Because basically, they hold that the more rare I will be, the more my authority will be standing. That's why if you go to drink outside, I don't go with you. Even if you want, you cannot. But the truth is, this is Kita Aleph of keeping authority. Why? Because your wisdom has to be the element that creates fear. It's Hashem. So they say Hashem have no effort to do. He is unlimited. So how do we do to keep the fear every single time, every single day? Comment on fait pour garder cette peur-là qui veut qu'on ait chaque jour, chaque moment? Because we have to know that it's everything from him. He said it's by taking the 4 method bedin inside of the Shema. He dit, this is the secret why we take the 4 kind of death instead of the Shema. So what do we do? Shema Israel Hashem VeKlal Hashem Echad. You say, what's happened? But based on that, before you say Baruch Shem, avant tu dis Baruch Shem, c'est attack on me, skila. Srefa. Ereg, Echenek. And you know how we do it, right? You have done it to Shema Vaya, Shema Dayanut, Shema Eke, Milui de Shema Vaya. He said, this is the purpose of the Arba Method Bedin inside of the Kyriat Shema. C'est le but des Arba Method Bedin dans le Kyriat Shema. Because every day, it's not only I say words to remember that I have to fear him. Pas tous les jours que je dis des mots parce que je dois me rappeler que j'ai peur de lui. C'est non. I've really to bring on upon my soul that death. Go and die. Like this, it's not someone who said, no, at the beginning he was telling me, Shalom, he was even not trying to touch my shoulder. After 1 year, Rabbi, how are you? He said, no, but if he take death on him, it means that really that fearness is real. So, you know what happened? He said, you're obliged. Because if you don't do that, faites obligé. If you don't do that, what happened? C'est basically, in that situation, this is positive, let's say. And what's happened in the negative situation? It's simple. You become a liar. Si tu es dans le négatif, tu es un menteur. Why? You're saying something that you don't bring down to reality. You have that. Okay, you don't love it because you're not afraid. You want to have that fear. So he said, this is shaker. You are a liar, c'est du mensonge. C'est shaker, it's gematria. You sure? Yeah, 600. And he said, Emet, it's gematria.
41.
He said, why you are a liar? Because the truth is trapped inside of the shaker. You see the value of, let's say, of this value of 600. So I say, the emet is trapped inside with the value of 441. And then you're a liar. You say something true, but it's from the corner of lying. You don't believe in what you're saying. I said, but if you take on you the Abba Method Bedin, what's happened? He said it's opposite. He said, if you take Sheker Be'adbash, it's become Begat. Sheker Be'adbash, it's become Bet Dalet Gimel. Bet Dalet Gimel. And if you take Emet Be'adbash, it's become Ait. Aleph Yud Taf. This is Aleph Yud Taf, 411. What is Beget? It's 7. No, not 35. 9. Dalet 6, 9. So say here what's happened, the Sheker is trapped in the Emet. Sheker, because now the Emet has a higher value. It's 411. And the lies has a smaller value of 9. So it is included inside. So taking Abba Method Bedin basically helps you to say, in our word, everything is true. It's the truth. Sometimes people are lying. But if you are not taking this Abba Method Bedin, what's happening? Say, our word is a word of lies. Sometimes people telling truth. Why he brings us here? Pourquoi ils amènent là? I just finished this last point.
Well, we can say that about a lot of tipping, no?
Huh?
A lot of our tipping you can say that about.
Explain to me.
Say like, if we're saying certain words about Hashem, fear of Hashem, love for Hashem, all these different things, it's like, right now we're talking about the Shema.
Because Shema is basically more than a tefillah. Shema is the 120, the last tefillah you do. You don't say an Amida when you are facing death. You just say Shema. The Shema has a value very high, and we're going to see what is that value in 5 minutes. We're going to see why it's focused on that. On va focus sur ça. De ce taklif, shtut be'atbash, be'nefa chokhma, be'atbash. It's also something in the situation you create craziness, shtut. And shtut will be in value higher than chokhmah. But if you take atbash of shtut and atbash of chokhmah, suddenly you have wise people and stuff shtuyot inside. But if you are here, shtut is basically the culture. And the chacham is that sometimes find some chachamim in that shtuyot. So we understand that it's a whole plan is giving to us. I finish just this point, and after we jump. באטבע שהוא סליט, והנה שטות בתוך חוכמה, זו שטות ביסוד זו חוכמה, ובעבור שהוצרתי או הוצרכתי, לומר וחלפיהם הזכרתי גולעם, לא לדידער והוא אלאה תראה שמילאת בגולעם עולה באטבש בקם, רוצה לומר וחילופו אטבש שקע בכל אמת, זה all the purpose from when you put your feet in the kachma, all the purpose is to transform your word, your inner aspect, your mindset from sheker to emet, from stud to chokhmah, and to be basically holding this reality. So now the question is why? La question est pourquoi. And here we start the part where we're not allowed to teach, and even not to explain. Keep the same book. At the end of the book, go page 4.
A lot of times, like to feel even somewhat immature, I've always been in the mindset of drawing down light.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I got into it. Was learning that it wasn't necessarily the text of what the words were saying. It was more so like these combination of letters are bringing me a certain, and my soul is receiving it, and I'm bringing it into the world for all of humanity. That's how I learned. I didn't learn. Like a guy goes to, like, say, Mahomet or another place where they convert, they're learning more textual.
Yes.
So now over here, you're saying about this idea of the truth of those words, right? And those truth of those words, like reflecting you. I'm questioning myself. It's like I never really paid so much attention to the words themselves. You know what I mean? I've always paid attention to the letters and the combinations, and then being kind of like this satellite dish in a way to like bring light down. So now it's about the textual words, and I'm trying to figure out like where I stand at with that. I mean, I pay attention to the words, even reading wasn't the same. Like if I was just a guy who has an intellect, right? I'll read the words and whatever. But for me, like these were like major sources of energy, and it's like heavy.
Because maybe they have never been in front of a book, a rabbi, a chacham, telling you that basically what he's telling you is that the Kyriat Shema is the secret of the Merkava. The Kyriat Shema is the secret of the Merkava. If you understand this, you see why when we say tefillah, it's Amida. It's not, if the purpose is not to talk about Amida, we say Kyriat Shema. Kyriat Shema is, if you want, the fuel of the Merkava. And that fuel, like for every cars, you have to know which one you have to choose. Because if I have I don't know how you say, well, in French you say diesel or fuel. Diesel. If you put diesel in a car, you don't need diesel, you kill the car. So the purpose here is to tell you that the purpose behind the Kyriat Shema is the Merkava. That's why in the Kriyat Shema, it's the moment when you have to go up. So it's telling you that the secret, you want to go up. You don't start, Hashem, I come to you. No, you have to say Kriyat Shema first.
No. Wow, because when I think it's 600, I minus 6 is the Quran, I find it's not. So it's like, just a small thing, but I'll bring over there.
So basically, how do you start to go up? How do you start to use your body as a Merkava when your body is holy and you know what you're holding? To the Kriyat Shema. All the secret is in the Kriyat Shema. So what is behind? I mean, the Christ telling you. Look at the page P. This is the secret of the Shem HaMeforash. The name that you cannot say. So you say that the name of Meforash has nothing to do with the Yoro, Voro, Yihi, Vihi. You see? Shem HaMeforash. Kuf Arin. At the end of the book, I don't know. We'll see. So you see what he said? Sod Shem HaMeforash. C'est quoi le nom de Shem HaMeforash? C'est Shema Israël, Hashem Elochenu, Hashem Echad. This is where you start to go up. This is what brings you up. This gives you fuel, energy, I don't know, benzene, to go up. So, let's see how we can do. So I will what I'll do, I will read on the big characters first. After we're going to explain. I will see if we have to go to the end of the explanation. I'll just give you the hint, and people who wants to know more. And after the Shema Israel, I feel the secret also of Baruch Shem. And there is all, and you see, we finish with the Otiyot. So that's why we are studying the Otiyot also. That's it. Yeah, good luck.
Smart man. He doesn't give the real date to anyone.
So
It's a smart
like
man.
this, I know who is really close to me.
Yeah.
Everybody's like,
We have to talk about a present for everything when you mean.
It's interesting.
So he said, Da, ve'even, know and understand, comprends-toi. Sod Shem HaMeyuchad, the secret of the holy names that you cannot pronounce. Mevurar bekoach tevoot veotiyot apasuk hazeh. How we found that name inside of the pasuk Shema Israel. Comment on trouve son nom dans le pasuk Shema Israel? Ve'ine, em shisha tevot. There are 6 words. C'est word. C'est 3 mots. Shema, Israël, Hashem. Elokim, Hashem Echad. 6 words. 6 mots. Asher ba'em, kaf he otiyot. Inside of them, we have 25 letters. On a 25 lettres. Ve achirat adalet. But when you make the dalet longer, quand tu fais le dalet plus long, achirat adalet, are lecha Shem Malé. Just because the dalet, your question, just because the dalet will be longer, the name will be complete. Hey, you're talking to a guy who will not speak. He will answer every time with a new question for you. You get the answer. From that answer, you have a new question. Like you said, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, I cannot teach the Merkava. You say what you know. Yeah. That's why you have to get it, and after you have to chew it, and when you will chew it, you will see according to your soul, you'll have a specific way to go up. Because there's no one way. Yeah, it's like you have 4 wheels, you have fuel, you have the car, but someone is Lamborghini, someone is Porsche, someone is Ferrari, someone is Mercedes, someone. It depends. It depends. Some people they are dragster. Okay, you go fast.
A quarter mile.
Yeah. I have my big trucks. Okay.
And people driving on different roads.
Yes. So that's why all this is example of how do you achieve a place. As I said, sorry. הרי שם מלא השם, הנקרא, sorry, בעריכת הדלת, הרי לך שם מלא ושלם. So the name is complete and complete. No, the name is fulfilled and complete. Le nom, il est rempli, il est complet. Anikra, Emet. So what is the final shape of the complete name? Emet. You see? Why he's playing with Emet the Sheker? When we read it, we don't understand at all. He's playing with us. Emet the Sheker. Sheker is Emet. Make the Emet bigger. Like, thanks. Because we talk about the Emet of Hashem Elohim Emet. The Emet have to become reality. And after, Sheker got it small. What is the Emet? Is the... Let's say, no, we're not to sit about. Emet, chapter 6, 16.
I know someone. Oh, yeah.
Emmett Smith, great running back for the Browns.
So now let's try to explain what this means. So I'll go on the right side here. He said, Ata el Osefele, you are Hashem who make wonders. Tu es Dieu qui fait des merveilles. Odata ve'amim ozecha niflaot. Shem ha'meyuchad ve'kochotecha ve'atzumim besod drachim anoraim. So he said, you basically give your holy name, tremendous name. And he said, you made it known to the peoples, not to one people. Amim. And say, your name is tremendous. Ton nom, il est effrayant. Me'od. V'nilamim, and also hidden. Besod ha'yichud ha'miyuchad besod ha'pasuk. Because it's all a yichud you do instead of the pasuk. You say one more time, yichud. So we're thinking about Merkava. Merkava is all about individuals. Yichud. C'est un yichud. Dans le secret du pasuk du Shema, in the secret of his pasuk, azeh, besod tevotav ve'otiotav, in the secret of the word and the letters. Okay, the nom et the lettres. Mukim, very deep. Me'od noraim, very fearful, sont très effrayants. Lamim me'od, very hidden, très caché. Asher nisgavnu besodotea benora beniflaot. But we understood what is behind. On a compris ce qu'il y a derrière. Ashrei haish ashalem be'emet. Happy be the man who will be complete with the word emet. Meaning that if you do all the calculation properly, the Shema HaMeforash will be revealed in the word emet. It's actually that. Quand tu fais tout parfaitement, le Shema HaMeforash il est complet révélé dans le mot emet. Après il dit, emet et amim, veyachar, asher bo, ayechol'et lavo el derer apnimi. So because inside of this pasuk, this is the only way to achieve the hidden world. C'est le seul moyen d'accéder au monde caché. People say, okay, now I will fly, my being myself to fly, I will go to see what's happened. And you see the guy is 20, start to say, you're a liar. Telling me don't help at all. Say, hey, yo, Shem, leave me alone. If you see the guy say, Shema, start to be afraid. Because the guy is going on. Just that. That's why we say we bring the dead people, not the dead people, the people who are going to die, to say Shema Israel, because we want to create that path for them to go to the Eden world. Purpose. C'est le but. Le quatre chemin, c'est ce qui permet en fait d'un coup de pouvoir emprunter un chemin, te fait voir l'invisible. So when you close your eyes for anything you need to know in your head, even sage, you build the Yehudim and you say it, things will change. This is the code to pass in the other stage. C'est le code passer dans l'autre côté. Derrière Apnimi, Azé, Ve'omek Hashem Azé, Ve'drachav Noraim, Le'yeda'a, Amitat Sod Shem HaMiyuchad, because all the Shem HaMeforash is hidden inside. Parce que tous les Shem HaMeforash est cassé dedans. Be'atzmuto, in his identity, dans son essence, Ve'ichuduto, in his unity, Ashrav Ve'ashre'e Yuladto. So this man who know that, he is blessed among the blessed, and everything's gonna go out from him, sons, grandsons, grandsons, 10 generations, everything he wants, they will be kept. So if you see people that we have 10 generations of Dayanut, we have 10 years, grandpa, grandpa, and you're the secret of the catchment. And the truth is, it gives you many details. Not explain everything because that's about to teach a lot. There's some reading, but if you want to be independent one day, with 8 pages, you have to know them by heart. It's giving you everything. Way to understand how to use a catchment. For sure, sometimes you have to make more clear some sentences saying, how do I pass from reading to applying? Is the right thing to do. That's it, but study. Après, il dit, Veze Perusho. So here is the explanation. And his gav ve'anela me'od. C'est bon I said, we see how he's afraid. Already says 10 lines. He did not start yet. 3 times he repeats Eden. 3 times he repeats tremendous. 3 times he repeats faithful. Even him is writing, but his coolness is saying, wait, don't go too fast. Même lui, il écrit, tu vois, mais tu vois qu'il a peur. Il ne dit pas tout de suite. Il prend des pincettes. He said, Neameod. Ve'even soda pasuk ve'perusho. So understand the secret of the pasuk and an explanation. Comprendre le secret. Ve'er mityachadim bo yud sfirot. And are in the Kreshma, the 10 sfirot are united, become united. If you have never seen the 10 sfirot of the Kreshma, you're not on the right path. You have to see them. 10 sfirot. Huh?
We're projecting it, or is it considering the combination?
No, in the word themselves. Ve'even, and understand. Ki yeshbo shesh tevot. We have 6 words. On a 3 mots. Keneged shisha avayot, which are 6 avayot. Why? 6 words. They are the 6 sfirot. From Kyriat to Yesod. So each sphira, it's one avaya. Right? So, huh? Kinor? You say Kinor? I didn't. Yeah.
His nest.
Yeah. Avayot. Shisha shmatot. So what is if I have avayot? I need the vessel for that. So basically, you have the light and the vessel. Tu as la lumière, et you have 12 elements based on the 6 words. ובזה סוד התחיל שאמר שלמה המלך. שלמה המלך עליו השלום. So we see what Shlomo HaMelech start to explain. Who gave that secret? Shlomo HaMelech. He knew it from Adam Rishon, but who took time to explain all these things to him? Now Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech בספר קהלת, in the book of the Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
He said, ברוב חוכמתו, based on his חוכמה, ואמר, אל הבלים. So he said, vanity of vanity. How do you translate it?
Yeah,
it's not this.
Yeah.
Let's say vapor of vapors.
Yeah.
Vapor des vapors. Breath of breaths. Vanité de vanité. Vapor des vapeurs. Neged ashmatot. Ubetulaam aeve el elyon. So he said, when he say vapors, they are basically the vessels. And inside of them, you have the real breath. So I have vapor. All the words are only vapors. The people can talk many hours without saying anything interesting. They can talk. It's vapors. But inside, sometimes you have avayot. And they are called the breath. Why? Because Hashem wrote this breath inside of us by bursting inside of our nose. So basically, our breath is the avayot.
That's why babies, even if they don't speak, but they want to speak. They do.
Hein? Avayot, c'est juste qui va faire. We don't say Kivavke, we say Avaya. But when we have many, like Avayot. So he said.
Is that what he's telling us to separate the words and these?
So he said, ובתולעם האבל העליון, בסופם וראשם הוא השביעית, הוא הנקרא עד. So he said, all these 6 words, let's say, their beginning and their end, they are the number 7. You have 6 words, Shema Israel, so I have to create one top and one bottom. Like they have to be inside of something. It's like Keter Malkhut. It's what makes the circle. C'est ce qui englobe. So he said, this is the aspect of 7. Chivi. No, autour.
Le 7, le 7 est autour.
And that's from the egg.
Echad.
And the D is creating the cash and the Malkhut.
That's why you have the big dalet and the big high. Look.
Is a regular Siddur to look at this?
What?
You can see it in a regular Siddur?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, almost
Always make it bigger.
The big dollar, yeah?
Yeah, the last dollar and then the iron.
It's
Testify.
not in this one, and then
It's not in there?
it's not bigger.
No.
And then the last dollar, and what was the first one?
It's the iron of Shema.
See? So you see, you have the ayin of Shema, and you have the dalet of Echad. So he said basically, both of them, they will create the level 7. Why? Because ayin, basically it's bina, and dalet is malchut. So bina is like a crown on the 6th, and malchut, she's like the 7th.
So where are the other ones?
Huh?
Where the other ones? Sure.
They are inside of bina.
I'm saying you have the iron that is
In
big.
between Shema Israel and that, in between Shema Israel.
It's like this. Yes, I can say. There's no problem. Say that. I have to control everything now. It's like the kind of thing you never want to give because every single second you play your life. It's like this. You have to say, you say, Shema. So here you have Ayin, right? So this Ayin, it's Bina. Right? But you have to, because it's higher, because it's bigger, it means that it comes from a higher place, which is basically higher than the first word of Shema. Because the first word of Shema is Chesed. Let's say I have Shema, Israel, Shem, Elokeinu, Shem, Echad, right? So this big Ayin is to tell me that Bina is the beginning. So I will have Bina, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzar, Od, Yesod, right?
All in the Ayin.
No, because basically, yeah, Bina is the crown of all this.
Yeah.
That's why we make this Ayin bigger to tell you it is not at the level of the other word.
It's like being enough. Yeah? The Ayin is working as a being enough.
Yes, in the case where basically we're going to make a work from Bina in order to build up in the, yes, in the reverse, yes. And after you said Echad, right?
Yeah.
They said this is Malkhut. Based on that, what I understand is that the key, or you start to think, is to understand that I'm starting from Bina. Because Bina, she is the place of the expression, of the whisper, the vapor, the breath. What will create that breath? 7 words, let's say, 6 words, and light inside. And after, I will finish with Echad. Echad, but the Echad actually, the Dalet is bigger to tell us, but is holding by the Malkhut, which is supposed to be here. We bring it down with the Ach. So we have Ayin Dalet Ed. That's why I said the Ayin Dalet is here to create the aspect of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. From there, I have 7. From there, I'm 7.
Comment on peut dire schéma c'est Chesed, n'est-ce pas?
Shema, Chesed.
Comment tu pourrais commencer de Chesed et puis tu retournes vers la Bina? Parce que si Shema est Chesed, le Ayin qui est dans Shema, c'est Bina.
Là, c'est pour te dire justement que tu commences dans Bina, parce que le Ayin, il n'a pas la même taille que les autres lettres.
Ouais.
C'est-à-dire qu'en fait, the letters who are in Chesed, it's really them. Because the Ayin is already in Bina.
The Ayin really comes before.
Yeah.
So, say like, what kavana a person should make?
Zach, Canada.
That's what I was going to, that's my question.
Yeah. I just give you the element is given.
So remember, what is this model of? I don't know. I thought the Shema was Malkhut, Israel was Pen, Shem was Ima, Eloheinu, Abba. Shem again was Ima, Abba together, and Echad was beyond.
It's not wrong. But you see here, we are dealing with the Bnei Aliyah. So the work which is asked for them is not the same. You are like in a PhD of the Shema Israel. This is like high school. It's better than Chassidut.
I was gonna say bachelor.
I don't say Chassidut is bad. The Chassidut will say you just the pshat is aya ove iye. They will say no. When you think this, think that you die, and it's good also. But when you start to put name or sfirot, we are like high school. But yeah, it's spirit. All right.
You know?
But
But over here, I mean, like you said, you don't get into it, but you're rearranging the configurations.
About what?
You're rearranging, I mean, it's different Shema. Like the way it's finished.
Yes, because here we are doing using the secret of the Merkava. Là, on fait le secret de la Merkava.
Okay, so I understand the iron, but the Dalet itself, the Dalet is still in the same place.
Yes, but the truth is, it was supposed to be here. Because Malkhut is here. So it was supposed to be the Ach. But it was another secret why we say Shema and not Hashem. Hashem. For reasons.
I think that's the question I want to have. Like, we should first work on the iron first, and we go to Chesed, and then we'll continue.
Yeah.
Hashem.
We say D-R. Like what they say, D-R.
So you do the Abba Mitabedin, then
No, you do it even after. It's like when you say that, basically, it's like you have started the car, you have passed, if you drive a
First
manual first, and now you have to remove the handbrakes.
Yeah.
So that handbrakes is the Abba Mitabedin. Because without that, you are heavy, you stick.
But you can't go over Kavana with it.
Huh?
You can't go over the Kavana with this.
We,
Here in the share.
I will just follow his path.
It sounded like he said before that he's giving us like the nomenclature of what's going on, but the kavanot is the particular road that you'll take. So he can't tell you your kavana because it's probably really rooted in the shorsh of our souls and
Yes,
all
many
sorts
things.
of other
Okay, fair
For
details.
enough.
example,
Whatever I say,
for example, I'm African and Congolese. My path will not be the same as him. I have no zchut avot. I do have zchut avot. I have nefesh hager. It's more easier for me on some aspect than from him. So it's what we do. But when he said you want to talk about Merkava, okay, say what you know. Because I will not teach you something I know because I'm Rabbi Yochanan Ben Zakkai. When I use, I'm a dragster. When I'm fired, I go fast. You maybe the nice family car. The use it. Yeah, it's different.
We're really in the Prat Klali.
Yes.
That's like
Okay, just look at that. So from the iron, I know we let it go.
No. It's
The iron, from the iron leads us, like I said, it's like a being out into, has to do, we end with the Malkhut.
basically,
Is it,
before you start to say Shema, you have to understand that we start from Bina. That's why we make it bigger. It's a code. Why it's a big iron? Say no. Don't think that because you know some codes. Every time you see six letters, 6 names, you know about that.
Yeah.
You say yes, but no. We start higher. Because Bina, iron, it's a value 17.
So where would Das be at?
Huh?
Where's Das?
It's not yet. We go from Bina, we build from the 6, and after we're gonna see in Baruch Shem, the whole thing.
Maybe even more clear for us also when we learn the iron.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And that's it. Tu regardes ce qu'il dit? Donc il dit, ובסופם ראשם השביעית, והוא נקרא עד רבתי, עד Mimachorat Shabbat. So keep in mind, you have the Ed Rabati, the big Ain, and Ed also it's a Mimachorat Shabbat, always Shirat HaOmer. Mimachorat Shabbat, c'est toi Shirat HaOmer. Ve'asod, here's the secret. Ki Or Arishon Aganuz Beshabbat Bechlalo Akoar Akdusha Shah Hamishim. So it said the organuz, where do you find it exactly? In the 15th gate.
Okay.
Which is Bina.
Why is it being a 15th gate?
Nun Share Bina.
50.
A 50th gate?
Yeah.
Why is it 15? Yeah. Okay.
Nun Share Bina. Donc c'est à partir de la Nun Share Bina que tu as le organuz. And this, you need that organuz.
Yeah.
The organuz come close if your body is.
Yeah,
So
the Shema itself is the gateway.
Shema is everything. The HaMeforash is inside. It's all about what you build. It's like a combination of things. People always think, HaMeforash, it is blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's all things you build. The all things you build. Donc il dit, Shachamishiv, ושנאמר, שוכן עד וקודש שמו, וכאשר תמצאה במידות ארוכות, החסד עם העם שכולם מתייחדים למידת אחד, במיוחד שבעולמו יישאר לך מה חם, צורות הגלגל הנורא. I explain a little bit, please, sorry. I will not say more. Il say like this. Il dit comme ça. Il dit, what you have to know, the purpose is not to say that all the 6 words, tous les 6 mots du Kyriat Shema, they are 6 individuals. Remember what we saw when we start to study the Prat VeKlal, about Chesed. So what you have to think is that all of them, they go where instead of the Chesed. Vous pensez que tout cela, ils vont dans le Chesed. And Chesed has to be the one that contain everything. It's not the Yesod. Everything has to be Chesed. Tout est dans le Chesed. That's why the first one is Ve'ahavta. It's Ahava, Lashon Chesed. Or if it was Echad in the Yesod, say Ve'yasata. C'est something. C'est Ve'ahavta. Donc tu dois ramener tout dans le Chesed. You have to bring everything in the Chesed. And from that aspect, because Chesed is basically what is closer to Bina. Chesed is ce qui est proche de Bina. He said, what's happened? That's why you don't say Shema. Say Shema. Why? Because this word is everything. Inside of you, you have the connection of Bina and Chesed. You see? Shema. Why? Because the purpose here is to bring, when you say Shema, Bina being to Chesed, and so to think that Israel Hashem VeKlal Hashem Echad inside of the Shema. After we'll say the others. It's just to remind them that they are already included in the Shema.
Est-ce que c'est bien, même si tu dis Shema, et dans ta tête, tu penses que le Haïm va avant et après Shem et même. Tu vois? Je pense au lieu, oui, tu dis Shema à haute voix, mais dans ta tête, tu penses à Shem. C'est une bonne voix, on peut dire ça. Et puis dans Erat, on peut dire Dara.
Da'ach. Da'ach.
Oh, Dara.
Après, il dit, what's happened after Imam, Shekulam Mityachadim. So everyone, they become one. Every single word, they become one word in the camp inside of the Shema. That's why the name of the prayer is Shema. Meaning that all the 6 words, they are incarnated by the word Shema. Il fait donc tous les 6 mots, ils sont incarnés dans le mot Shema. ככולם מיכאל במידת המיוחד בעולמה, יישאר לך ממחת צורות הגלגל. What do you have? You have ממחת צורות. You have 48 shape of the galgal, of the circle. So it's simple.
Cham.
7. Why did he went down? It's Ham, yes, it's Ham. Why did he went down to 48? It's simple. We said that it's a 50th gate. -2. What are them? Bina, Chesed. If you want, Ein, Shema. So what happened? You have already used 2 strength. So you have now to fulfill the 48 strength. Pas 248. Juste 48. Non, juste 48. Martzurot. Galgal, Anora. So say, what is this Galgal? This Galgal is threatening. Ce Galgal-là de Ham, il est effrayant. Ce Galgal of Ham is threatening. Anora. Fearful. Anora. ונכבד מאוד, but at the same time, with a lot of kavod. En même temps, il y a beaucoup de kavod dedans. וכן, Avraham. That's why it's connected to Avraham, Chesed. C'est lié à Avraham, Chesed. Sodo, qui, בשמטות, המצוירות לעולם, חוזרים חלילה, עד תשלום כולם, ובזין יוצאים לחופשי בחינם. So say all the code said about the Sfirat HaOmer and the Yovel, bring it down in the numbers you will have here. Apply. The Shivi'i, the 7th year, Vego Yotzim Lichovshi. The slave is free. So what is the Shivi'i? It's connected to Echad. Basically, at Echad, you go up. You are no more a slave. You are free to go up. So what's bring your Merkava to be trapped here? Because you still have a dimension of slaves to the klipot. That's why when we did part for them, Kyriat Shalanita, Abishai said, I took on me this 4-bit of bedding in a different way. And I say, like this, you will not let the klippa hold me or to go up. Everything is based on Abraham.
Why? What are you saying?
Like we said in the chesed of Prat VeKlal, that all the menorah have to be focused on the first candle, which is the chesed, the right justice, to emit.
That was like kind of like how we have Milana.
So Aleph Lamed, I'm trying to connect our word to something more close to Ensof. In the Kyriat Shema, we are more trying to fix what was broken at our level and to bring them to be connected to the Bina, intelligence. It means that it's more of fighting our levels. In the Aleph Akud, we are more connecting dimensions. Here, it's more about our souls to be able to go on.
Dans le pays, quand tu connectes ça avec, quand tu mixes ça avec le Dayanut, ça fait Ad, n'est-ce pas? Ad, on peut dire, c'est une limite comme ça, n'est-ce pas? Et après, quand tu renverses un peu, tu vas voir, ça fait Da. Sinon, est-ce qu'on peut dire comme ça, si tu fais ton schéma correctement, tout ça, tu vas avoir la Da, tu vois, Da. To know something like that. Ça t'amène la date,
On peut plutôt dire que c'est pour te dire que c'était pas Kadosh du Da, parce que le Da, c'est date. C'est pour avoir le Yichud, la bulle de Kadosh. S'il n'y a pas de bulle de Kadosh, tu ne peux pas monter. Ce Da là, il est là pour.
Ah, oh, Da. Et Ad, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Ad.
Témoin.
Quoi?
Témoin.
Témoin? Oh, yeah, Ed. I'm sorry. Ed. Ah. Pas Ad. Ed.
So he said,
I found the Hachma, but I can't. It's a hint. Where's the Keter?
there's a Keter here.
There's a Hachma there. I can't find the Keter. There should be all 10. You said you have to see all 10. So I found the Hachma, but there's a Keter.
You have to see it in the eye. To say like this. Hello. Avraham בסודו חוזרים, אוקיי. ואלו הסימנים בסודם שמעה בחסד, הוראה שתעלה בשישי, והוא התפארת, ונגנז בגנזיו השביעית. So it's all the story of Shabbat Mishpatim about how we set free the slave. It's actually all the code about the Shema HaMeforash and the Kyriat Shema. Donc, toute l'histoire de Shabbat Mishpatim, all the Shabbat Mishpatim, c'est tout le code pour comprendre comment tu fais monter ta Neshama dans le Kyriat Shema. You see, all the examples talking about the slave being set free in the 7th year. It will work 6 years. About the 6 years, the 6 things.
Now this makes a lot more sense why they put the ear to the door. Shema, no, I don't want it.
After I say Shema is this, it's Chesed, telling you that you start to work 6 years. Israël begvura. Israël donc Gvura, qui sarit im Elohim, because you fight with Elohim. So who said that? Qui a dit ça? Sa mère même. Il a dit ça, sa mère même. Adonai, Hashem, Tiferet. Hashamayim kis'i ve'ata'a tishma Hashamayim. So he said, the Shamayim is my throne. So is he? Matat. Elohenu, c'est quoi Elohenu? Yechaven ve'boaz sod akeruvim. Yechaven, sorry, Elohenu, Yachin ve'boaz. Yachin ve'boaz, the two pillars in the temple, what we saw before 2 weeks. Go and see the special Ben Ishchai. You have to think Yachin and Boaz. This is the kavanah to go up. And all the name is giving you is a part of the Shem HaMeforash. You have Abraham, after you have Sarit, Im, Israel, Hashem. After you have Shamayim Kisi. After you have Yachin Boaz. Okay, I give just it. So, Kérouvim, c'est le secret des Kérouvim. Mais quand fait Ashkina, Ala Shochakot ve Tochanot, min. Hashem, the second Hashem here, deuxième Hashem, Aor Haganuz. You brought it here, tu amènes ici. Le Shalom, ve'emet le'echad emiuchad, for the peace and to make everything one. Echad, Eretz HaChaim, the living land, la terre vivante. Dvukim ze baze, ve'orer ledalet, and make the dalet longer. After you create the head, and that, Asher li haaretz, וכך חוזר חלילה כל השמטה בשבעה כוכבי לקט. So basically, by doing that, you solve all the problems. What are them? The 7 planets. That's why every single letter is here to help you to be set free from the domination by every single planet. They have a role to do when they need to block you. Here. לקט, בשתיים יודין וימים סופרים עד שיתגלגל הגלגל וישוב אל מקומו הראשון. וכן כל אחד משבעה כוכבים לכת עד שובו אל יובל, אחרונה שהוא יסוד אשר לא הארץ ותייחד ואחרונה הראש עם הסוף. So basically when you do that, you fix all the 7 planets. Now connect the head with the legs, with the feet. What are them? So if you don't have the vision of this, the head being written like this, how we do? Say Shema, Shem Echad. So when I say Echad, I go back. Now build. And just by doing that, you feel something happen. See, I have goosebumps. Just by doing that, you build with your eyes. Ein Dalet. You say, I'm connecting the head, the rosh, and the feet, because even the planets, they are with me, not against me.
It's like almost like it's implying all creation is inside of us.
Yes, it is. בתוכנו.
So the real Edut is the Edut of the promise of Hashem to Abraham that would be above the stars. That's the real Edut.
That's why it's all about that. So when people don't understand what is a zchut to be a ger, to be called Ben Avraham, it's easier for you. For a ger who is really holding with proudness that gerut and showing that I have to be a modern example and show and bring trust from birth, that is easier. La vie est plus simple. שהוא אלה יובל והשם הם הסוף. להיות מהם השבעה שביעי, מהם ביוחד גמור ושלום. באמת שכבר היה כי באמת לא הבניין וכל הפעולה ממש, וימין וגלגלים ושלום ונשלם, נתייחד בהכל לשם מלא, ועל העולם מלא ושלום להיות הייחוד מיוחד. So it's basically it. He said, everything I'm telling you now, I'll tell you now, ce que je te dis maintenant, vous de Shema מיוחד, Shema HaMeforash. So the way you build and you understand what he's saying to you. Jake, read the text again and cry at Chatzot. Say, I want to understand what is hiding. So I get, okay, Boaz, Yachid, what is this? He said, this is the way to speak without telling. He's telling you, this is Shem HaMeforash.
Why Boaz?
It's not Boaz, of course it's related to him, but it's the name of the left pillar. Yeah, you have 2 that Stromomele are made. One is called Yachin. That's Boaz. Say this one. Both of them have to be used to do. Let's continue to more this. We can stop here.
You're sure tomorrow with us then.
Sure, no, man. I was joking.
I usually watch movies about it.
So now let's see, just a small thing to let you understand that what we're explaining is not from nowhere. Get your shah, what I call a shah gilguli.
Can I do it for Wednesday next week?
Do what?
Are you sure Wednesday?
Yeah, of course. You're not traveling to?
what about the snowing?
Ah,
Oh yeah, I
It's
forgot.
dangerous to be in these buses in the snow.
yeah.
You have the wedding too.
Ah, yeah.
So it's better to,
So see just the first page of Shara Kodesh.
I'll show you.
Just the first line, few lines you're gonna understand why I brought you here. Just the première ligne Shara Kodesh. So see what is after we start Samer in Rabbi Akiva in French. Like this. ויברר בו עניין הנבואה. And Ruach HaKodesh. So I will, in this book, we're going to explain what is Nevuah and Ruach HaKodesh. On va expliquer c'est quoi Nevuah et Ruach HaKodesh. And he said,
He's sleeping on the floor, the guy, so that's up his check. The guy sleeping on the floor.
he said, במה עניינם, and what the purpose? וגם יברר עניין המדרגות שלהם. So what are also the level of all these things? Ruach HaKodesh, Nevuah. He say, כי בהיות האדם צדיק וחסיד, when a man is a צדיק וחסיד, כל מי צדיק וחסיד, עוסק בתורה, studying Torah, properly לשמה, ומתפלל בכוונה, praying with כוונות, ודי הוא שאין לך דבר שאין בו ממש. You have to know that there's nothing that you say which is not becoming reality. Il n'y a pas de chose que tu dis pas qui n'est pas réalité. Qui afilu oto akol ayotse, even that voice that comes out from your mouth. Alide akaat amate eno levatala. So say your voice and also the sound. By doing that, something is created. Quelque chose est créé. כנזכר בזוהר פרשת של עליך, ואין דבר ההוא עולה לבטלה חס ושלום, אך בוודאי הוא שממנו נבראים מלאכים. C'est from that sounds are creating angels, created angels. Des anges sont créés par rapport à ce son-là. ורוחין קדישין, and holy entities. קיימים ועומדים כנזכר בפרשת של עליך, they are standing. And he said, כשהמורזה l'accès de sage, כל העושה מצווה אחד, כוננו פרקליטי אחד. Everyone who do a mitzvah deserve one lawyer defending, protecting, arguing for him. Celui qui fait une mitzvah se crée un défenseur. כי מדובר האדם, נוצרים מלאכים, מדיבור האדם, נוצרים מלאכים טובים או רעים. So from the speech of the man, good angels or bad angels are created. Of what, the way you talk. And what you say, quand tu parles, ce que tu dis, tu crées des bons anges ou des mauvais anges. Kefi diburo, according to your speech, selon ta parole. וכמו שכתוב בתיקונים, כי כשאדם עוסק בתורה, אותם הקולות. So when, it's written in the Tikkunei Zohar, when a man is studying Torah, quand on étudie la Torah, אותם הקולות וההבלים הנפקים מפומיה. All the sounds and the vapors, the whispers, the sound, the breath, which comes out from his mouth, right? Ces sons-là, ces murmures-là qui sortent de sa bouche, Naasim, what?
one more time, just one more lesson.
Every sound you bring out from your mouth when you study, they became, they became Merkava.
It became like but then the angels who govern that part of the body?
No, look what he said. Nasi Merkava el neshamot hatzadikim harishonim. Became Merkava for the sons of the first tzadikim. Who are them? Adam Harishon, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. They are the tzadikim harishonim. La redet lemata. So what the purpose is that you create a child for them to come down from the limud. But in the prayers, you create a Merkava to go up.
So the Merkava is duality.
Yes. We need you go to holidays, you take your car to travel to the place. Yeah, and after you come back.
So in a way, you're saying like on Purim, we bring down Mordecai and Esther.
We do both. Because
We go
Purim,
down and then we go.
we read the Megillah.
That's what I'm saying. Through the Megillah.
Yeah.
Through the
But
Megillah, you bring it down.
through the addition in the Shema Esrei, we can go out.
And the same, Merkava has the duality. Tu as Merkava, c'est le but de deux. The limud is to bring them down. The tefillah is you to go up.
So what does it mean to bring down the Avos? Or whoever else? I mean, it sounds like you bring down Rabbi Akiva. It sounds like you bring down whoever you're learning.
See, the more you are holy, the more you are lishma, the more you are kadosh, the more you can bring down very high. All the prayer is just the state of your body. It's the only thing.
That's where they rest if you bring them down.
Yes.
Or lack of a better term.
The meaning that you can see it also with the books you study without any judgment. But if someone says this book, say I cannot,
Ah.
mean that
There wasn't a cleat for it.
yeah, it's not judgmental, just to understand.
They're not the Merkava for the oil and that.
Exactly. That's why someone can be amazed. Someone spending all his life in Sefer Yetzirah. What do you see inside? It's 20 pages. Leave me. He's studying something which for you demand a lot of being focused. It's just in this stuff and going down. So that.
So building in a way, you're building the true instinct.
Yes.
This is the upper eyes.
Yeah.
That we didn't talk about the Merkava.
Yeah. And now the higher level is to be able to say, you know what? All this I don't need. I just need the Chumash. Also.
Yeah.
Ben Ishai also, yeah. Just the Chumash. It means that I'm not frustrated not to know what is written behind. You know, sometimes you buy books, why? Because you misunderstanding. You don't know how to understand. So you need people to tell you. Exactly. That's why we have rules in Botsina. We have only a specific number of books. Of course, Shulchan Aruch, Marot, Yerushalmi, Babli, Rambam, so on. But after, Kidviari, Ben Ishai, Zohar, that's it. Because the more you had books, the more you need guidance. Yes. People can ask you, how do you see this in Kidviari? So, everything.
You tell them if you read it your 20th time, you'll see. Once you get it.
That's it. Everything is inside.
Oh.
It's like the guy who just studied Zohar in you understand too. How do you understand Zohar? Because at the beginning, you can ask Rabbi Shimon. He was fighting. Because it's my little brother. He told me, Rabbi Pinchas, you know what? The limit of the Zohar, I cannot. I have no pleasure. I say, fight. Fight. Don't leave. Fight. Chilling, sitting like a prince. He said, no, I cannot. Look, I try, I prepare, but nothing. I say, fight. I built the clip.
Mon terme de base, trois cases, et après, je me rends avec mon frère parce que ça aide aussi quand on est justement à deux. C'est un peu essayer de trouver les autres. Après, c'est les répétitions, écoute.
Like he said, the way he studied how to play guitar. Say the father just gave to them the basics accords, and after they have to repeat and to say, no, okay, I have to make this light mine. And the more you repeat, and okay,
Yeah, but sometimes the repeating doesn't work. Sometimes, this is saying that
Now you have to repeat what is yours, not to repeat what you receive.
To
Yeah.
add also, if you feel that you repeat but it's not enough, it doesn't work because you didn't repeat enough. When you repeat it and at one moment you're okay, now I can anticipate one note that will come from a music, because you see the shape, the basic shapes of the four chords. Then but because you have repeated enough.
It comes from the fact that you make it yours first.
yes, we
If you repeat something which has been said by someone, you are dealing with a light which is not yours. So you have to see what do you understand in this space or argues that was given. What you have understood, now start to repeat it. And by repeating, you will be able to explain what was said by your own words. This is the way of repeating become interesting.
So when Chazal say that giving something over in the name that you heard it in the yeshivas, they understand that to mean don't deviate from the Lashon one letter. Say it exactly how he said it. We want to say it in our own way, but give credit to who we learned it from. I learned this from my Rebbe, and this is how I understand
Exactly.
it. Okay.
You have to be able to build your own argue based on what you receive, and from your argue to say, this is what he was saying.
Mhm.
This is the purpose. Not to repeat exactly, because if you look, even between, let's say, Ben Ishchai and Chacham Fataya, it's two different words.
Mhm.
It's nothing to do. It's quoting Ben Ishchai, say, he told me this, but I understood that, and this is what he was saying.
Mhm.
To make it yours.
Like, I don't know, just to say, in the yeshiva dynamic, I will say that it is important to have that discipline to start off with. And from that, this like for example, like I remember when I first started to learn, I was always having these svaras thoughts in my brother. And so I sat down with a Habusa for almost maybe like 3-4 months. And just on the first few pasukim of Bereshis, we brought like maybe 15, 20 different commentaries on that. And after we learned that, then the rabbi was learning what he said, not going to give it much.
For me, with all the respect for every system which exists, it's not good. I understand the sage here. We want to receive the light from you. To give a drash on 50 svarot,
Yeah.
I'm just repeating what I've heard.
No, hear me. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying because of, I'm not giving over with, say, Balaturim is saying. I'm not saying that, but because I learned about Balaturim and I learned the Rashi and I learned, Sfrono and all these other different people, now I have this like cloud of information that I could work off of.
But that cloud is the same for everybody. But I think is at the end, you create people with the same mindset and the same way to justify. What I try to do here is like this. Here's the text. What do you feel according to your own story, your own character, your own limitation, your own view? What do you understand? Like this I do with my kids. What do you understand? They say, what do you understand? After, based on what he's saying or what we find, say now go find which sage think like you. And once you know that, you know who is your lineage.
Okay, so that's okay. That's another point. That is another way we learn that too. Another point is saying, like, say you want to say, I want to inspire people to never give up, right? And I want to give that speech to a group of people, right? I never give up. Then go and find. That's what I'm saying. Go and find other sages throughout the ages that had svaras or had kedushim.
No, even that. basically you want to build an idea and to justify it. I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I say what your instinct is telling you. Meaning, everybody can think and understand some concept. I say blue car. What do you think? I think that, and that. After this deserves a deep and hard work from the teacher. Because you have to understand when he's talking like that, where you bring him, what kind of books stick on him and so on. It's the whole world you build for him. It's the role of a teacher to give to the student what he needs exactly, not to build like randomly. That's why I always, every time I was telling people, what do you think? Opening books, everybody can do, but understanding what the text produced as he thinks and as you, not everybody knows. That's why last time we did the last Rosh Chodesh, I was amazed by this athlete who spoke. There is a whole man who spoke.
Oh, Rashi. I mean, not Rashi, but he has that book.
Yes.
Those books are Rashi.
So why I was amazed is because for the first time, I saw someone being Jew, not being complex, to say, God, talk to me. Every single thing was say, God told me, do that. We build a kind of instinct for me, which is false, kind of, I'm humble. I'm saying, no, I saw this in the book. I wrote it from that. But he was standing in front of us and saying, God told me. God told me. God speak to me. And suddenly, I told him at the end, Papa's on my mind. So when I used to be Christian, it was my daily language. How come now that I have the image in my hand, I don't have the power to say, God told me. God told me. And I told him, thank you. You give to me a big lesson today. Because really, it's all about God talking to us, especially when we talk at that level. Right. Say, God told me, do that. I said, wonderful. He's expressing a relationship at the simple level. Nobody pay attention what he's saying. He said, no one speak like that. If I don't speak, you will be the first to leave the room, right?
Well, we say, like, sometimes you say Malachim.
Yes, but even Malachim, if you start to say, when angel told me, people will run away from you. So I gotta become crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy guy.
Yeah, you see. But when he was saying it, I see, here's the mimut of a man who really believe in his God. He don't want to know if it's my dad. Leave me alone. God told me. Why? Because I'm holy. I know what I went through. And I know it was the truth. So God told me. So I'm thinking about this also. I told him, I spent 5 minutes. I said, thank you. Because you just helped me now to make peace with my past. There's something in my head that I forget. And hearing you speaking, I understood that, no, actually it should be now, the moment when I have to use that language. Because we spend 10 hours every day opening books. And we do have HaKodesh, we do work for that. Even if we don't have, we do try to build the kelim for that. And suddenly we make very complicated the fact that God may talk to me. Oh, God, don't talk to you. This guy come simply, God told me, go in front of them and say that word. I said, wow. I said, wow. For me, it was a big slap. I said, this is what should be the minimum level of the idiot. Idiot is just a simple guy. God told me I did.
Right, but you know we can't talk.
I know we cannot, but we can.
You can appreciate
at least we have to show him that we understood the message.
Yeah.
Because he created a situation for us to say, you talk, but we're simple men with less tools, less experience in the Torah scholarship, but they use that word that it's really me.
So wouldn't you agree that like Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Meir, some of these people, there's an aspect of them that's in our soul. You know what I mean? It's part of us. Like I'm saying, so we're learning out, say Mefarshim or tonight, whoever. It's not like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, because you're saying it's creating a product. That's what you're saying. You're saying it creates a product, and maybe one out of every 2,000 or 3,000 may be able to find their way within that. But most people, I just, I'm reconciling it right now. I just feel like that it is our soul. Like all these commentaries, all the Mefarshim, all the sages, the prophets, and like building our ideas from that space makes us different than like say Christianity, where they would just read maybe the same Old Testament and come up with good stuff. You hear some of the preachers, they have like wow, that's interesting spar on this point or whatever. But that discipline brings out it's like when you put limitations.
What?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just speaking.
No, what I try to. If you see the first page of Kyriat Dusha,
yeah.
He said, our obsession has to be to achieve the level the prophet achieved.
Yeah.
And generation after generation, the level went down.
Yeah.
And meaning that basically we try to achieve the same level. You see the Rishonim, Mefash, and so on. If you see the prophet, you understand that the perfect example is the prophet.
Yeah.
You open the prophet, God told me to tell you.
Yeah, okay.
God told me. God told me. God told me. So meaning, even you talk about Rabbi Akiva, what did he say? Don't think that I'm the judge. God is judging you. Well, it's you. God will tell you what to do. Meaning that we create a complex of using that sentence, maybe because of Christianity, maybe yes. But the truth is, well, I'm bringing that's not by random, because it's talk about emet.
Yeah. We're talking about Halakhot Kodesh versus prophecy.
So I said, yeah.
My wife asked a question. How can we tell the difference? Because we say in our heart we have the Yetzer Tov, Yetzirah, and then we have the Nefesh Sifli. We're talking the Ruach HaKodesh is the Sifli, or the Yesod. We're talking about something. We're talking about something higher than that. And how do you recognize it, Jan?
The Ruach HaKodesh of the prophecy, it's outside of you.
Yeah.
And you have to bring it inside.
Okay.
Of you.
And how can you recognize it? And then a lower level.
It's when you know that you really hold a high level of holiness and kedusha, and you know how to.
Merkava.
Yeah, and you know how there is all experience. It's not like
you see yourself doing something that you're.
Yeah,
I'm not doing this. Or
yeah.
I'm speaking, and I don't know
Okay.
what the words are just pouring out.
And then how do you recognize your nefesh sichli, your nefesh yitzadi talking, and not your two yetzer or your yetzer talk? How do you recognize? We said you have the two angels control the right.
When your speech is only Torah. When you feel that it's not there's no more argue. Every single word you bring out from your mouth, it's all pasuk, all silence.
And there's clarity.
Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'amen. Toda rabba tzadikim. Après, j'ai vu qu'il m'a envoyé des messages.
Amen. Slow.
Ah, je faisais le lien avec ce qu'on avait étudié dans Sabbat des Mishpatim par rapport au fait. Je t'entends pas.
C'est ça, c'est bien.
Et j'ai juste une petite question par rapport au Shema du Ben Ishraï. Lui, c'est ce qu'il a expliqué. C'est un Shema Prat ou pas?
C'est un Shema quoi?
C'est un Shema qui est Prat?
Ben Ishraï, à quel moment?
Pas avec les 9 lettres d'Obni Obni Ada.
Ah,
Yeah, look at the friend.
c'est toujours un Shema Prat, mais c'est comment tu construis la Kavana dans le Shema. Parce que le Shema, il est toujours Prat, jamais Klal. Même si tu as un Shah Tzibour, tu dois toi-même toujours dire Shema Israël. C'est toujours Prat. Allez, à tout.
Bye bye.